Hello everyone. How y'all doing today? Well, I decided to start this particular cross stitch and it is November the 9th, and so I am going to start this one. It's a 30 by 30. It's an 11 count, and as you can see, it is very simple. It doesn't have a lot of colors, and it is a partial. And I just felt like starting it today. And so we're going to get started. I haven't put not one stitch in it yet. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. That up there. Okay. Anyway, this is the canvas, and as you can see, it's pretty simple. All of this in here is all black, and then you got the color, and it does have a little bit of confetti here on the edges, but we can deal with that. And this is your color graph here. This is your graph right here. I'll probably need a magnifying glass to see it because it is pretty small. But we are going to get this started here in just a second. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start in the center, and that way it's real plain and simple, and it's just 310 black, I believe. And let me get over here and find it. This is how I set it up. It's all set up and ready to go. And I bet you that is number 1, 310 right there. And but this is how I do my setup for my stitching. And so we're just gonna sit here and stitch for a little while. If I can get me a string here, come on, let go. There we go. There we go. And anyhow, there's a couple of ways that you can get your thread out. You can either split it right in the middle, 3 and 3, or you can pull it one by one. Now, a lot of times I just pull it one by one because that way it's easier, it's faster, it doesn't knot up, it's good stuff. Let me get my glasses here. I definitely got to see what I'm doing here. Let's turn some light on the subject. There we go. And what I do is I just take one strand of thread, like so, and just slowly pull it out. Okay, just like so. All right, so then I come back and I grab another strand and do the same thing. All right, and I just kind of lay it down next to the other one, and then I just kind of pull it out. Like so. Okay, one more. Okay, here we go. There's the last one. And what that does is, one, it leaves you... Did you let go of it? It leaves you with a strand, a grouping of 3, all right, in the other strand to use for the next time around, okay? Then we take... What in the world? Where did it go? I don't know. Hang on. I lost it. I lost a strand. I know it's here. I just don't see it. All right. Maybe it's still tangled up with this one. No, it's not in there. And it's not in there. So, all right. Aha. I bet you that's it right there. Yep, that's it. It got pulled a little further than I was planning. Okay, let's get this thing straightened out. Sometimes this happens. You ever notice that when you're trying to show somebody something, and you got it all figured out, and then it decides, well, I'll just mess up and make it a little more difficult. All right, isn't that the way it usually goes? Would you come on already? Jeez. All right, you know what? We're going to set this one aside for now, and we'll go ahead and use this one. Seeing as this one's already ready. Okay. I got my threader here. I tell you what, I couldn't live without this threader. Telling you. Because this puppy, I can't see the hole in the needle very well. So where do we want to begin? Let's get that out of the way. Let's see. Let's start in the middle, shall we? Right there. I'm going to have to adjust this light so I can see it a little better. Bring this baby down and turn it a little bit. There we go. Now, then I got to adjust you so that way I have you in frame. Okay? Because I have to pull this thing towards me. Let go. And, but I figured I'd go ahead and get this started. I know I got a subscriber that said she was going to order this one, and I don't know, I haven't heard whether she got it from, got it in the mail yet or not, but I figured I'd go ahead and start it, and, you know, because she said she was supposed to get it like on the 4th, you know. So, would you stop already? Geez. Just having problem after problem here. Okay. And then, so I was waiting on her to contact me, but I haven't heard from her, so I figured, well, I'll go ahead and get it started. And when hers comes in, she can join me. How about that? Yeah. And, anyhow, what I'm doing is I'm making sure it's good and anchored, my thread. So that way, I can pull the tail away from it a little bit. If I can get a hold of it. There we go. Pull that tail out of the way. And are you able to see this? No, of course not. I hate it when I can't get you on. Let's see. How about now? Okay, there we go. Because I've got to have it propped up against me in order to do this. Because I don't have it on a stand right now. I'm actually holding it. And what I do is I just take and I just do my X's, you know, two or three times, and then I can really get started. Okay. There we go. Now we can get something done. Yeah, because what I can do now is I can railroad, which is easy to do as long as this is all one color and there's no changing of colors and there's no confetti in the middle. So I can do that. I can do this. No problem. So let me see here. There we go. Just like so. Now, some people can stitch in hand, but I'm just more comfortable with a hoop. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's just the way I taught myself, and so this is the way I was taught, and I'm more comfortable with a hoop than I am in hand. And so, yeah. Yeah, I stayed in bed late today on account of, we had some beef stew last night and something, it bothered my stomach a little bit. So I just sort of kind of lounged around in bed and, you know, that kind of thing. There we go. We're getting there. Now what I do is I take, first off, let me get my scissors here. There we go. Let's trim this off because this is always in the way. There, get rid of that. And then once you get done going one way, then you turn around, if I can get the needle in there, turn around and go back the other way. Like so. And I know doing it this way is probably slow going because I do admit the sewing method goes a lot faster. I agree with that. But when it comes to my stitches, I'm kind of a perfectionist. And I like my stitches laying nice and flat and neat. And sometimes doing the sewing method, it just doesn't seem to want to, sometimes it doesn't want to lay right. So, that's why I do it this way. Yeah. And I just keep going. I hope you can see this. Let's see. Maybe if I moved you back and tilt you a little bit. Oh, that ain't gonna work either. Nope. Let's see. No, that's not gonna work either. Alrighty. What I'm trying to do is be able to. Now, okay. Can you see that? Sort of, kind of. No. You can see my chest. Alright. We're gonna go on. And I always have a hard time because I'm having to tilt the thing up and be able to get it to where I can see it. And it's really, really hard to do this on camera. That's why I always have it in my stand. Yeah. I'm almost tempted to stop right here and put my stand up. I'm really tempted, believe me. It might be a good idea, actually. Hold on a second. Ouch. I'm gonna set my stand up here. These things are really tight. That's why I struggle with it. And oh, geez, Louise. Let's see if I can do it this way. Get it around. Raise you up a little bit. Let me see about getting you up further up. There's that in there. All right. Bring you down. Tilt you over. bit more. There. How about that? Is that better? Because I've got my stands actually sitting on the table. I scrunched it up to where I could sit it on the table. There. Yeah, that's a lot better. It's not moving around as much. Yeah. Even though my hand gets in the way, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. There we go. That's more like it. And all I did was just squish my stand up to where it sits on here on the table. That's the reason why I like this particular stand, is I can scrunch it up to store it, or I can straighten it all the way out and I can use it as a floor stand, or I can scrunch it back up and use it like for a table stand, which really comes in handy. Yeah. I hope y'all are having a good day. My day is slow getting started. Let's put it that way. Because I didn't do a whole lot today. I didn't really feel up to it. Not today. I don't know. Sometimes I can eat something and I'm fine, and other times I can go to eat something and end up making me sick. So from one day to the next, you never know how you're gonna feel. Yeah. Let me put this right there. Oh, okay, I see what it is. I'm gonna tighten this one up so it's not moving around so much. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to get comfortable is what I'm doing. There we go. That's a little better. All right, now come on. Now, I may have to move the camera a little bit though. Raise it up so because I'm afraid I'm going to hit it. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're just going to raise you up just a little bit. Okay, we're still in camera, so we're doing good. All right. But yeah, I showed you all the things I'd been working on yesterday. I've been working on a lot of diamond paintings. And so I decided I'd try to do a little stitching today. Something I can do. I can just sit still, not have to be doing a lot of moving around, Yeah, I got up this morning, I swear I felt like my poor body had been run over by a Mack truck. I was sore all over. I don't know what the deal was. And then on top of that, I ended up with a bit of an upset stomach on top of that, so I was not at my best this morning. But that's all right. Just another day, Yeah. Yeah, I watched Stitching in the Stitching in the Interlake. Watched Eva. She was working on, I don't know what she was working on, to be honest with you. I didn't even really pay attention. I was more listening to what she was talking about more than what she was doing. And she got herself her scroll rods, and so hopefully that'll work out for her. And then last time I watched her, she was working on her a little, I guess it was like a purple gnome. And it was really cute. And anyway, so it's fun to just watch people stitch or watch them diamond paint and talk. You know, it's very entertaining for me. Yeah. Hmm. I try to get my daughter to, do diamond paint with me, but she's just not interested, I guess. So I said, okay. That's all right. Maybe one day. Hmm. Yeah, I think beef bothers me. I think I didn't used to, but it here lately. Every time I eat beef, it upsets my stomach. So I'm thinking it's the beef. So I guess I'm gonna have to stick to chicken and fish. you know, because beef seems to bother me a lot. One, it also shoots my blood pressure up too, which that's not a good thing either. Yeah. I keep forgetting that I can do this two-handed. Constantly using just the one, but I keep forgetting I can do this two-handed. Yeah. Hmm. But I thought this one would be a really good one for a beginner, someone that's never cross-stitched before. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have any back stitching to it. It does have some confetti, but you can get around that. That's not a problem. Ouch. And so it's just straight up stitching. You know, and I thought this would be a good one for a beginner. So I like these simple ones myself. So I'm not a beginner, but you know, I enjoy the simple ones just as much as the next person does. You know. Hmm. Now, one thing I do to prevent um, ridges, sometimes when you're stitching and you do like the railroad stitch and do a lot of it, you'll start seeing a ridge coming up. And what you do to prevent that is you'll take and continually change directions. All right. And and so that way that ridge isn't constantly popping up. And so it doesn't become very noticeable. And that's kind of what I do. I kind of change direction. And then and then on top of that, I'll do the railroad stitch for a couple of rows, and then I'll switch over to doing just a straight up cross stitch, doing the whole cross, and and that kind of breaks it up to where it doesn't have that ridge. Because I never noticed it before until someone else brought it to my attention, and I started really looking, and I'm going, yeah, she's right. It does create a bit of a ridge. So, and that's what she said. Just change direction, and and either that or what you do is instead of doing your railroad type stitching, change out. Do like 2 rows of railroad, and then go and do do your full cross, a row or two, and then go back to doing railroading again. And that way it doesn't show that ridge, which is, it's a good idea. So that's what I do. And I change directions on top of that, especially when I'm doing something like this. I'll take and I'll go across this way, and then I'll go up and down this way, and then I'll go across this way. So, I just constantly changing directions. And the reason I do that is to keep any ridges from popping up, you know. But yeah, I like the my favorite of all the stitching that I've done over the years. My favorite, I still think, is the 14 count. I still like the 14 count. Now, some people, they don't like the 14 count. They go, it's too hard to see or whatever, which I understand. Believe me, I do. But I like the 14 count, even though it is hard to see sometimes. I do enjoy the 14 count because it's got a smaller and kind of a nice, neat stitch to it, and that's what I like about it. Yeah. But I still like the 11 count too, but not as much, but I like it. Yeah. Yeah, with a 14 count, all you have to do is pull one strand of thread, right, out of your floss, and then take that one strand and fold it in half, and then and then put it on the needle, and then when you feed it, that you put it into the fabric, you can use what's known as a loop method to tie it off where you don't have a tail, which is kind of nice. But that's all right. I've overcome the problem of, stitching and having my stitches come loose. I've overcome that problem. And so I do what's known as see, a lot of people do what's called a way knot. And I don't do that. A way knot is like you'll start way over here, and then you'll come all the way over here to just start your stitching. And then when you've got yourself several rows in here, you take and you pull your thread up a little bit and cut it, and it ends up hanging down the bottom. And I said, I don't like the way knot. I never have. And that's why I do what's known as a what do I call it? Lost my train of thought. Anyway, it's a oh well, it'll come to me. Just give me time, you know. But and so I just take and I use that other type of knot that I use, and it's hidden up underneath the stitches, and you can't see it, and it anchors it down to where it's not coming loose. So, it came down, came off of my thing. It's the only problem with having it on the, oh, I can't do it that way or that way. Can I? Maybe. And yeah, it's too off center. All right. What I should have done is I should have stuck that thing there down in the bottom, But that's all right. It's okay. Let's see here. But anyhow, so did it again. The heck? I guess I'm gonna have to get a piece of material and to hold it. I'm sorry. I thought it was gonna hold, but it's not. Okay. And I don't want to have to take the hoop off, so yeah. Can you see what I'm doing? I hope. Yeah. And so anyway, so but yeah, I love to stitch. I like to stitch almost as much as I like to diamond paint. Yeah. I was watching a video earlier today on how to create adult type coloring books. You know, how to create them using AI. And then what you do is you set it up to where that you can sell them once you get it set up. And the people that print them out for you, they only charge you like, say, $2.30 for each book, but you charge, you know, you set a price on it of, say, $7.99 or whatever, or, you know, whatever price. And whatever is sold at your price, they only take $2.30 of it, and you get the rest. Isn't that cool? I thought, hey, now that is a neat idea. And I thought I'd look into something like that. Now I could do that, maybe, if I can figure out how to work a computer, because I am not very good at it. But that would be kind of fun, making coloring books for people. That would be neat. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. How are we doing? We doing all right? Yeah. Okay. As long as you can see what I'm doing, that's all that matters. Yeah. But now we're going to go the other way for a couple of rows, and then we'll go back to the other direction. And this kind of helps keep the ridges from showing. Yeah. Yep. So I got to write this down in my book as to when I started it. So that way, when I'm all done with it, I can put my initials and the date on it. You know, like I did with that last one that I did. Yeah. There we go. Got that row done. Sort of. Kind of. But I figured I'd just sit and stitch with you and spend a little time with you. Kind of hang out with you a little bit. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I got to go out there and make some more that strawberry watermelon crystal light stuff. I noticed when I was out there earlier, it was sitting on the counter empty. So I got to wash the jug out and redo it and make some more. So yeah, I drink a lot of that Crystal Light. You know, I drink Crystal Light iced tea and, you know, strawberry watermelon, fruit punch, you name it. Yeah, peach iced tea. You know, I keep all those flavors here in the house. Cause see, I don't drink a lot of soda. I drink maybe one or two sodas a month, if that. Cause I just don't, not really big into sodas. And so come on now, get in there. And so I just drink the Crystal Light. It's healthier for you, and on top of that, uh, it it doesn't, doesn't rot out your innards. Yeah, I saw one time where a guy, he was gonna clean his driveway because his driveway had a whole bunch of oil and stuff on and grease on it. And I said, okay. So he goes in and he brings out a 2-liter thing of Coke, right, and pours it on the driveway. And I'm going, what in the world is he doing? And then a few minutes later, he rinsed it off and scrubbed it off, and all that grease and oil was gone. It ended up having a white spot right there where the Coke had been sitting on that grease spot. And I'm going, wow, and just imagine that inside your stomach. No, I don't think so. So, anyhow, and so if I'm not drinking coffee or hot iced tea, a hot tea, or something like that, then most of the time I'm drinking Crystal Light. So, come on. Well, we're getting there. We're covering some ground. You know. Remember Kelly was saying one time I made stitching look so easy. And it is. It's very simple, very easy. It's mostly just watching where you put your needle. You know. Now when it comes to counting, not so easy. I have tried and tried, and I've done one counted cross stitch that I completed, and that was years and years ago when I was a whole lot younger and had a lot more patience. Now, one, I keep losing my place. I'll be counting and I lose count, or I lose my place, and or I miscount or something, and end up messing it all up. And I did that with, I think it was my long dog samplers, and it was called Provane. I restarted that thing like 4 or 5 different times, right? And I finally gave up on it. I said, forget it, I'm not doing this. So the Provane is still sitting in the, in my stash, just sitting there. I'm not even going to even try to do it. And then I got another one that I would like to do, but again, it takes patience and a lot of counting, and that's it's called Autumn Quakers, something like that. And I love the pattern on it, I really do. But I don't know if I've got the patience to sit there and stitch on that one, because that's a pretty good size one. That Quaker, it's a sampler as well, but it's really pretty. Yeah. So maybe one day I'll get up the gumption and sit down and work on it a little bit. Come on, there we go. That's why I ended up giving 90% of my my counter cross stitch away. I just gave it away, because I knew I was never going to get to them, and I had a lot of them, and so I just passed them on to somebody else. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to go up now. Whoop. Now, if I have any beginners out here, okay, and you're stitching away and you don't know what to do about this blank spot with the number 101 on it, just stitch over it with the correct thread. So 01 is actually 310 on this particular pattern. So you just stitch over it. You won't even see it when you're done. So don't let that thing throw you. A lot of people, they get kind of confused and they're going, oh, no, okay, I got all around it. Now, what do I do with that part? Just stitch over it, honey. Just stitch over it. Yeah. You know, y'all ought to, I don't know if you do or not, but you ought to go over and watch Stitching with, what is it? Stitching with Laura. And watch her channel. She's fun to watch. And what she does is she does PR packages from various stores. And then she also does stitch alongs, you know, where she'll take and she'll do a stitching. You know, she'll sit and stitch with you. And which is kind of interesting. Because what she'll do is she'll get a package in, and then say she gets like 3 or 4 different cross stitches in, and they're usually printed like this. And then what she'll do is she'll pick one out and start it that day. Yeah, and you know, it's usually later in the afternoon. She'll do it. And so I've been watching her for years. Yeah. As a matter of fact, she's the one that got me into these printed canvases. Because up until then, I didn't know that they had printed ones. You know, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. It's been a while. And I faithfully watch her every week. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. We're going into the blank spot. And you just stitch right over it. No big deal. And when you wash all of this out, you won't even see the white. You know, it'll be gone. But yeah, this is an easy stitch. This one here, this is very simple. And this, like I said, this would be perfect for a beginner. Yeah. Now I usually use, I don't hardly ever use the needles that they send me from the in the kit. I usually use my own needles. And these are, I believe they're DMC needles. And they are a 24, I believe. A 24 size 24. And that's perfect for an 11 count. But I also use the same size for a 14 count because it's got the real narrow end to it. And I'll kind of give you an idea. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this camera or not. But hang on, let me get up to the top here. And I'll show you the comparison between this needle, okay, and the needles that come in the kit, okay. Hang on. Let me set that aside for a second. Hang on, I haven't had them here just a second ago. Where did it go? Well, maybe I'm not going to show you. It was sitting here, but I don't see it. Okay, well, I must have knocked it onto the floor. And you know what? I'm not going to go chasing after it. I'll show you some other time. And but anyway, but the needles are different. The needles coming from the kit are a lot shorter in length than the ones that I get. The ones I get, oh, yeah, there. Don't you dare knot up. Come on, there we go. And they're a lot shorter in length. Okay, let's see. Because you see how this one is. Let me hold that one right like so. That's how this one looks. If I can get on the camera. There we go. Okay. That's how big it is. And it's got really, really pointed point to it. The others are more rounded and they're a lot shorter. And I don't care for them. So that's why I always use my own needle. Yeah, we're almost done with this square. Here we are. Now when you're stitching along and whatnot, because of the way I hold my hands underneath the hoop, you can feel when it's trying to knot up or it's already got a knot in it, and you can feel that extra thread hanging down. And a lot of times, if you immediately flip it over and deal with it, a lot of times you can get that knot out real quick. Not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, this was my first passion. All right, when it came to crafting, is I had, this was my first love, which is cross stitching, and I didn't start diamond painting till about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, and I've grown to love that too. But my first love is still cross stitch. The reason I like to cross stitch is I can take this outside and sit on the front porch when we have real nice weather and just sit and stitch and stitch and stitch. And the only thing I have to take with me is my project, which is already in a hoop, a needle, a pair of scissors, and my thread. And that's it. Oh, and my needle threader. Gotta have that. Yep. And whereas diamond painting, you gotta take out a lot more. And but that's all right. Yeah, we're almost done with this thread too. Almost. We're getting there. Yeah, I normally usually start on one corner somewhere, normally. But I decided to heck with it. I'm just going to start in the middle for a change. Yeah. And my daughter is enjoying her day off. Yeah. And so I usually leave her alone on Saturdays. I don't try to drag her off and get her to go anyplace on Saturdays. I usually leave her to, take that day and just lounge around, watch TV, just do pretty much she doesn't do anything really, The only thing she does do is she does do the cooking in the evening. But other than that, Okay, we're going on into the next square, and so I can use up all of this thread. But it looks pretty good. Yeah. Anyhow, so what we'll do is we'll do this again maybe next week. We'll sit down and stitch a little while. Yeah. We may be able to get all the way across. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, I like this particular picture. The cat with all the flowers. Reminds me of the twins, the girls. They're both solid black cats themselves. And, well, I can't say they're solid black. Frankie has a little white spot right on her belly, right up under her belly. And it's a little white spot. So she's not a true black cat. Now Lily, now she's a true black cat. She doesn't have any white spots on her at all. Well, there we go. We're almost there. We might make it. Maybe. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I got one stitch that I'm not going to be able to finish. Yeah, see, I'm not going to be able to finish it. Nope. That's all right. We got close. We're close enough. Now, what I do is I'll show you. I don't know if you can see this or not. Probably not. I take and I run my needle up under all of these stitches. Okay, well, all the way across, if I can get it to go. And then what I do is I pull it on through, which it's tight, so you have to really pull hard. And here you go. And then I snip the end off, and there we go. See? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. See? Got no tails at all. Nice and neat. Okay, well, we're going to end this here. We've had our moment of stitching. I will probably continue and whatnot. And I enjoyed having you sitting with me and stitching with me. And I'm glad you came and visited and spent a little time with me. And hopefully you're all having a great day and a good evening. And we will see you sometime tomorrow. All right. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.